Hello everyone, my name is Deepika Verma, Senior Research Fellow under supervision of Dr. Rajiv Kumar Sir of Sociology Department. In this part, we will see further about theories of social movement. Let's continue with the topic. First of all, let's see what are different types of social movements, among which first is reform movements. Reform movements are satisfied with the existing social order but believe that certain reforms are necessary in some specific areas. The reformers endeavor to change elements of the system as it currently stands. For example, the civil rights movement, women's liberation movement, save the environment movement, the Arya Samaj movement, Brahma Samaj movement, etc. are few examples of the reform movement. Next, second one is revolutionary movement. Revolutionary movements deny that the system will even work. So these movements are deeply dissatisfied with the social order and work for radical change. They advocate replacing the entire existing system or the structure. Their objective is the reorganization of society in accordance with their own ideological blueprint. Revolutionary movements generally prefer not to use violent, although some of them to resort to the violence. The examples can be the Protestant Reform Movement, the Socialistic Movement, the Indian National Freedom Movement, etc. are the examples of revolutionary movements. Next is reactionary or revivalistic movements. Some movements are known as reactionary or uh, regressive movements. These aim at putting the clock back. These movements view certain social change with suspicion and distaste and try to reverse the current trends. They highlight the importance and greatness of the traditional values, ideologies, and institutional arrangements. They strongly criticize the fast moving change of the present. The Brahma Samaj, Arya Samaj, the Sarvodaya movement, Khadi and Gramodyog movement by Gandhiji are the examples of the reactionary or revivalistic movements. Next is resistant movement. These movements are formed to resist a change that is already taking place in the society. The many social and cultural changes of recent decades have been profoundly disturbing to many Indians who feel that our national virtues, traditional values, and cultural greatness are being eroded by secularism, minority appeasement, moral degradation, political corruption, uh, and so on. Good number of contemporary resistance movements express their dismay at the directions in which our nation has been moving. Uh, Examples can be anti-reservation movement, the Swadeshi movement against the movement toward economic liberalization, the movement towards Indianizing Indian education, etc. These types of movements are not very much revolutionary in character but may resistance in nature. Next is utopian movement. These are attempts to take the society or at least a section of it towards a state of perfection. These are loosely structured collectivities that envision a radically changed and blissful state, either on a large scale at some time in the future or on a small scale in the present. The utopian ideal and the means of it are often vague, but many utopian movements have quite specific programs for social change. For so these are few types of social movements which are I have explained just now. Now let's discuss the main theories of social movements. So a question comes in mind: why do people join various types of social movement? It is because some people are highly vulnerable to such appeals due to their psychic makeup, or to ask in a crude way, does it mean that something is wrong with some people? If the individual are not causing it, then it is the society that is the root of the movement. Is it true that when something gone wrong with the society, people try to change it through social movements? Questions like this come to our mind when we ponder over the motivating factor behind social movement. But one thing is certain, that the reason for the emergence of social movement need not to be the same as the reason why people join it. Social movement arise because social conditions create dissatisfaction with the existing arrangement. People join a specific social movement for almost infinite variety of reasons, including idealism, altruism, compassion, political considerations, practical benefits, religious favor, or the can be some kind of frustration also. It is indeed true that one of the main issues in the study of any movement concerned its emergence. This point led to three basic questions. What are the structural conditions under which movement emerge? What are the motivational forces? What are the theories which conceptualize the beginning of a movement? So, according to M.S.A. Rao, there are three main theories concerning the emergence of social movement. They are the relative deprivation theory, the strain theory, and the theory of revitalization. So, let's see these three theories one by one. The concept of relative deprivation was developed by Stauffer. It holds that one feels deprived according to the gap between expectations and realizations. The person who wants little and has little feels less deprived than the one who has much but expect still more. So a social movement usually starts because people are unhappy about certain things. They may feel that they are not getting enough. In other words, they feel that they are deprived of something. Uh, let's take an example. The next slide movement would have this as a case. The peasant felt that they were being exploited and deprived of the rights and the fruits of their labor. They therefore decided to protest. Similarly, uh, the movement of abolition of reservation of seats for backward classes and educational institution which took place in Gujarat was again as a result of relative deprivation. So in this way, the structural conditions of relative deprivation provide only the necessary condition, but uh, the feeling of being deprived is the main reason. It can be witnessed in third world countries where traditional and tribal control are weakening, and it's leading towards an enormous increase in desires. In this way, deprivation is one of the major reason for emergence of a social movement. Next is the strain theory. The strain theory of social movements was propounded by Smeltzer. This theory considered structural strain as the underlying factor contributing to collective behavior. Structural strain may occur at different levels such as norms, values, mobility, situational facilities, etc. Because of these structural strain, some generalized belief that seek to provide an explanation for the strain may emerge. Both strain and generalized belief require uh, precipitating factors to trigger off a movement. Smeltzer analysis of the genesis of social movement is very much within the structural functional framework. Smeltzer considered strain as something that endangers the relationship among the part of a system, leading to its malfunctioning. It places stress on the feeling of deprivation also. On the contrary, the relative deprivation theory, though emphasizes the conflicting element, fail to consider it as something that may contribute to the malfunctioning of the system. So what this theory basically means, it means that when the prevailing value system and the normative structure does not meet the aspiration of the people, the society faces strain. What happens at this time, that a new value system is sought to as to replace the old. This led to conflict and tension. Usually individuals in this situation violate the social norms. So in this way, strain is one also a reason for emergence of social movement. The next theory is the theory of relative revitalization. Though social movement express dissatisfaction and distance against the system, they may also offer a positive alternative. Indeed, they may be started for revitalizing the existing system which is undergoing structural strain. Revitalization is therefore the third factor associated in the emergence of a social movement. In 1956, Anthony F.C. Walrens published a paper called Revitalization Movements to describe how culture changes themselves. According to him, a revitalization movement is a deliberate, organized, conscious effort by members of society to construct a more satisfying culture. According to Wallace, revitalization movement has four phases. Period of cultural stability. In this phase, the culture is somewhat stable. The next is period of increased individual stress. In this phase, the individual started to see the distorted elements in the culture, so the stress started to increase among them. Next is the period of cultural distortion and disillusion. In this, the part of the culture which are not accepted by individuals, their disillusionment takes place. And the last is the period of revitalization, in which the things are revitalized. In this way, these four stages are the phases of revitalization movements. In this way, all the three theories of social movements are, I hope, clear to all of you. With this, I am ending the lecture. Thank you so much.